Are you on a weight loss or body recomposition journey and you're finding it hard to hit your calories every day or stay in your calorie deficit? Do you find it hard to hit a daily protein goal? Or do you just find it hard to answer probably the hardest question of adulthood? What's for dinner? At least in my opinion. Don't worry, you are not alone, and that's why I made this video today. I'm gonna be sharing 4 of my go-to easy, high protein meal prep ideas that require minimal ingredients, take less than an hour to make, and most importantly, taste amazing. This video specifically is gonna focus mainly on lunch and or dinner meal prep options. I'm also gonna talk about the 5 main reasons why meal prepping at the beginning of the week can help you on your weight loss or body recomposition journey. But I'm also gonna touch base on what meal prep actually can mean and what it can mean for you. And then make sure you watch all the way to the end because I'm gonna explain how to make each of these recipes your own. Because remember, calories, macros, and goals are different for every single person. And I'm gonna show you how you can individualize these meals based on your preferences, your allergies, your calories, your macros, and your individual goals. So as always, I wanna get right into it, but if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get a notification whenever I release a new video, just like this one, every single week. Now, before we jump into the recipes, let's quickly talk about why meal prepping at the beginning of the week can be helpful, and also why it's not something you absolutely have to do if you wanna see success in your weight loss or body recomposition journey. Here are the 5 main reasons I believe that meal prepping at the beginning of the week can really help you reach your goals. Number 1, and most important, at least for me as a busy mom of 2 and business owner, it saves you time. Instead of cooking from scratch every single day, you just reheat and eat. So this is going to eliminate the I don't have time excuse. Number 2, it reduces decision fatigue. So again, it gets rid of that hardest question of adulthood, what's for dinner? It takes that decision fatigue out of the question and makes your life so much easier. Number 3, it helps with portion control. When your meals are pre-portioned, you're less likely to overeat. It's gonna take the guesswork out of mealtime. Number 4, already kind of touched base on this, but hitting a protein goal is so important, especially if your goal is body recomposition. But even if your goal is weight loss, there are so many benefits to eating protein. This is gonna help you stay on track with hitting your protein goal every day, again, because you've pre-portioned out these meals. And number 5, saves you money. Cooking at home in bulk is almost always cheaper than eating out for lunch every day. Eating dinner out even a few times a week can really start to add up. Now let's answer the question, what does meal prep actually mean? You see a lot of people on social media, Sunday meal prep, and they're prepping their breakfast in containers, their lunch in containers, their dinner in containers, they've got snacks, everything is laid out. That is a 100% meal prep. But do you have to go to that extreme to be successful? In my opinion, no you don't. Do I do that? No I don't. Am I pretty strong and lean? I would say so, yes. So here's the thing, a lot of people get discouraged because they're like, well, I don't really want to eat out of containers for every single meal every single day. But guess what? You don't have to. You can do what I call partial meal prep, and that is what I do. So one way to partial meal prep is just cooking up all of your protein sources at the beginning of the week. So maybe ground chicken or ground turkey or ground beef, cook up a bunch of that, put it in a container. Cook up a bunch of chicken and put it in a container. Whatever kind of proteins you're gonna have that week, pre-cook it at the beginning of the week and have it there and ready to go. You can do the same with fruits and vegetables. You can do the same with your carbohydrate. But this is a form of meal prepping. What I like to do is make my breakfast every morning. I'm someone who has Greek yogurt with protein powder, half a banana, blueberries, and some all bran buds every single morning. It fuels me up and I can whip that up in literally 3 minutes. I don't feel the need to meal prep that the day before. My snacks are usually very similar throughout the week. If I'm at home, I have snacks that are my go-tos when I'm at home, and I have snacks from my go-tos when I'm out and about or at work training clients. So I don't feel the need to meal prep those. Lunches and dinners are where I might either full meal prep or partial meal prep. I actually have an entire video talking about the Michelle meal prep method, meaning partial meal prep, but it's gonna help you a lot throughout the week right here. I will link that video in the description below if you want to watch that next. Okay, so enough rambling about meal prep. I'm sure now you've made up your mind about how you want to approach your meal prep each week based on you specifically, your schedule, and your goals. Let's get into my top 4 go-to high protein meal prep ideas that I use for lunch and or dinner. Recipe number 1, and an absolute favorite in this house, is chicken fried rice bowls. With this recipe, I start by cooking rice in the rice cooker. I normally use white rice. You can use brown rice. We do use brown rice sometimes. And I'm gonna toss the frozen mixed vegetables in the frying pan and cook those until they are soft. And then I'm just pushing those to the side. So I use 3 eggs. Again, who makes fried rice without egg? You need the egg in there, but also more protein, more health, all the things. So I scramble my 3 eggs on the side, and then I mix that in with the mixed vegetables. In the meantime, I'm steaming the cauliflower rice in the microwave. I love buying these cauliflower rice bags because you can just steam it right in the microwave. And then I pour that in the pan with the white rice as well and mix it all together. And then prior to starting, I pre-mixed a sauce to put on this, where I use a 1/4 cup of teriyaki sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and a little bit of honey. You can add garlic if you like, you can add pepper, ginger, whatever you prefer. I just stick to teriyaki sauce, soy sauce, and a squeeze of honey. And then once all my rice and vegetables and eggs are mixed together, I pour the sauce in there, mix it all up in the pan, and then divide it evenly into 4 containers. And then I will either add in cooked chicken that I have pre-cooked at the beginning of the week and chopped up, or I'll throw in some shrimps that take very minimal time to cook. We pack those all up and pop them in the fridge. And then when I go to eat mine, I love putting this Nando's peri peri sauce. It's a little bit of chipotle mayo type, just to add a little kick, a little bit more flavor, and that's how I. Number 2, another favorite in this house, is high protein taco bowls. I normally meal prep these on the same day that I'm meal prepping these rice bowls, because I'm making the rice in the rice cooker anyway, so I just make a little bit extra to add into these taco bowls. So what I do is start by cooking up extra lean ground beef, and then I have pre-chopped red peppers and onions. And once the beef is pretty much cooked, I will toss in the red peppers and onions, as well as a low sodium taco sauce. And I will mix that and simmer it up until it's all cooked and flavorful. And while that's cooking, I'm portioning out the rice into 4 containers. And then once the meat is cooked, I portion it out into 4 equal parts in the containers. And then after that, I add a little bit of shredded lettuce on top and a little bit of cheese. And then from there, we just pop the lids on and store those in the fridge, and they are ready to go. And then when I go to eat mine, I warm it up. I like to put some avocado on the side and Greek yogurt as the sour cream, or if I'm feeling spicy, I'll just use straight up real sour cream. Depends on the day, what kind of activity I've done that day, just to be honest. High protein, easy meal prep recipe number 3 is high protein pasta salad. Now this is something I love to make at the beginning of the week and have ready to go in the fridge. I love to eat it cold. I make the whole salad in advance, and then depending on what my calories and macros look like that day, I might just throw in some extra protein at the time of eating it, which I will show you. So I like to use this protein pasta penne. You can use whatever kind of pasta you like. This is one of my favorites. And I start by just cooking the pasta, and then while that pasta is cooking, I'm usually chopping up kind of whatever vegetables I have in the house. In this specific example, I had cucumbers, red onions, and red peppers. And then I'm also gonna be making the dressing. So I'm gonna use plain Greek yogurt, a little bit of mustard, and some avocado. And then I blend all of that up to make the dressing. Don't knock it till you try it. You can use Dijon mustard. You can use cottage cheese instead of Greek yogurt. Once the pasta is done and drained, I pour it in the pan and let it cool down. And once it's cooled down, I'm gonna add in the chopped veggies and that sauce, and I'm gonna mix that all up in the bowl. And then again, I will portion that out into 3 or 4 containers, depending on how much I made that day. And in this specific example, I had this for lunch on the day I was making it. So what I did is just threw in half a can of tuna to add more protein. And then I put the other half of the can in another bowl for tomorrow, and then I left the other one plain. So what I would normally do on that day is I'll either throw some chicken in there, or I will throw a few hard-boiled eggs in there. And then there you go. That is something you can eat cold. You can throw it in your bag and take to work and put it in the fridge at work, or you can have it in the fridge ready to go when you get home. And then easy high protein meal prep idea number 4 is a shrimp and zoodles pesto bowl. This is a great recipe if you're towards the end of the day and maybe you're don't have many carbs left and you're looking for just protein. This is a great option to have to fill you up without eating a lot of carbs. Carbs are not bad, but again, it depends what the rest of your day looks like. So first things first, we make the zoodles. My kids love helping out making the zucchini noodles with the spiralizers. We make those first and put them to the side. And then after that, I'm gonna season the shrimp and get the cherry tomatoes chopped up and ready to go. And then from there, I put a little bit of oil in the pan, get it warmed up, and then toss the shrimp in there and cook them up until they are ready to go. After the shrimp is cooked, I put it to the side and then I toss in the zucchini noodles and the tomatoes and mix those up. And once the zoodles are cooked, I put those in the container with the tomatoes and toss some shrimp on the top, pop the lid on, and there you go. So there you go. Those are 4 very easy, high protein recipes that you can meal prep in advance. Now again, like I promised at the beginning, how can you make these your own? Simple. If I was using a protein that you didn't want to use, swap it for a protein you want to use. If you prefer ground turkey or ground chicken over extra lean ground beef in the tacos, do that. That's totally fine. If you prefer steak in your cauliflower rice bowl, do that. If you prefer to use a plant-based protein like throwing in edamame, you can do that as well instead of throwing the chicken on top. And if you don't want to eat white rice, you can use quinoa, you can use brown rice. You can make it more of a taco salad with just more lettuce and no rice, and use the same recipe, but just it's a salad instead of putting the rice at the bottom. So really you can take this framework of what I've given you and make it work for you, your family, your individual preferences. So as for calories and macros, if you are someone who is really trying to stick to a calorie deficit, you are trying to hit a protein goal every day, and you're really just starting to learn about the tracking of the calories and the macros, my suggestion is you should be weighing all of these foods out and making sure how much of each portion you are putting in there. As you can see in the video, I didn't weigh anything. I am not on a journey of weight loss right now. I am just chilling. I'm maintaining. I've tracked for so many years in the past that I can eyeball things, and I've learned to read my body and see how I feel. But that is the goal for everybody to get to. But just because I'm not weighing everything out doesn't mean that you don't have to, and you don't have to weigh everything out. But what I'm saying is that just ballparking how I kind of took the meat and like portioned it out over 4, that's still a great option. But if you are someone who has maybe been eating in a calorie deficit and you're eyeballing things and you're not weighing things out, it might be helpful to weigh all of that meat, portion it into 4 equal portions, and then put it in the bowl. Same thing with the rice. That's what's gonna really help you kind of pinpoint how much protein you're getting each day. And it's also gonna be an educational journey. So it's gonna help you learn how to eyeball things, which is kind of where I'm at now. That's why I didn't provide the calorie count of each of these meals or the protein content. Either way, these meals are lower calorie options. They are high in protein, but again, how much meat you put into your taco bowl or how much rice versus cauliflower rice, you can take this framework and make it work for you and your goals. So there you go, guys. I really hope this video was helpful. And guess what? Because I'm thankful you watched this video all the way to the end, I've got a free download linked in the video description of all of these recipes. So you can go ahead and click the link below if you want to download a PDF of all of these recipes. Don't worry, I got you. And any questions, leave them in the video comments below. I'm always happy to help. If you need help with your workouts or your nutrition, you can learn more about working with me one-on-one in my online fitness and nutrition coaching program. I will also put a link to that in the video description below. And as always, have a great day, guys, and I will see you in the next one.